Radio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Oh man, but yeah, no, like I said, I mean, that card was a little too long, but she was definitely a highlight. And of course, like I said, there was a lot more boxing that went down. And you know, just to switch to the next card in the next fight, Naoya Monster Inoue, you know, was making his second debut, you know, on American soil. You know, this first fight for top rank against Jason Moloney. Now, I think this fight, unfortunately, you know, kind of got drowned out, you know, by Tank and LSC and to a lesser extent, Usyk and Chisora. But, I mean, Monster, I mean, obviously...
So his own undercard was drowning it out a little bit. Yeah, no, Mayer going for her her first title. So it was a lot of high-quality boxing around this fight.
You know, it definitely was, though. And then, obviously, I mean, as we mentioned before about, you know, the lighter weight boxers, you know, some of them just don't get a lot of respect. And for whatever reason, Monster does not get a whole lot of respect for what he's accomplished, you know, and it's kind of annoying, too. And it is like, you know...
Yeah, because he's pound for pound number one. Like, honest to God, like, he's pound for pound number one. Like...
And honestly, you know, there are some people that will tell you, like, get the fuck out of here. You know, Canelo's...
Whoa. We talking about the almost thrown, fixed-looking match between Kovalev? That last fight is worthy of being pound for pound number one? Oh, we talking about them doing the best Jermaine Taylor, Bernard Hopkins impersonation with Lomachenko versus Lopez?
Yeah, or of course
we're gonna lose the first 7 or 8 rounds.
Or you can also Crawford too, you know, obviously gets the pound for pound treatment too.
Oh, wait. We have a career mode glitches in our last fight. Like, nah. I'm sorry. I just broke down the 3 other people who could be pound for pound number one, and none of them have the performance, have the most recent performance on the level of Monsters against Inoue, Monster Inoue versus Jason Moloney. Mm-hmm. I mean, am I lying? Like no one, like Jason Moloney is on a higher level than Mean Machine.
Yeah, he is. You know, Jason Moloney. Yeah, and like I said, but like I said, a lot of it's just due to ignorance on the lighter weights. That's just the big.
I mean, Jason Moloney is a bigger threat than this version of Kovalev.
Yeah, Jason Moloney is tough. You know, like I said, I mean, his only loss was a narrow split decision loss to then IBF champion Emmanuel Rodriguez in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. You know, so I mean,
who ironically, you know, couldn't hang with the Monster as long as Moloney.
Yeah, right. And then Moloney, and like I said, Moloney was still doing this thing. Like Moloney, I mean, he was still knocking cats out. Like after that loss, he had like a 4 KO win streak, you know, before getting the shot at Monster. So I mean, we were all on paper. It was definitely competitive. Like you just never know what was going to happen.
Yeah, because you fighting a young, once beaten, in his prime, athletic, you know, boxer puncher. Like,
right.
And remember the word prime. Like, this is what we've been saying earlier. Like, guys taking dangerous, threatening fights, you know, when in their prime. There's no Canelo Kovalev where, you know, one guy's been through the ringer and he, you know, and you now fighting him type shit, you know. Mm-hmm. It's not Lomachenko Lopez where, you know, it's a 10-year, 13-year age gap. I mean, it's a big fight. I'm not shitting on. I'm just saying, you know.
Like the only, you know, the blemish in that way for Monster obviously is the Donaire fight, which of course, while it's a pure classic fight. You know, Donaire wasn't necessarily in his prime. I mean, obviously that fight came because it was the tournament.
Yeah, Donaire wasn't in his prime, but the two saving factors for that is Donaire was on a known late surge in his career, or career resurgence. And he's a Hall of Fame level.
Yeah. You know,
So a Hall of Famer who's having a second career resurgence. If you know you happen to face him and he's peaking at that moment, or he's doing this thing, I think that kind of works for Monster because he got the questions answered that we wanted answered.
right? Like, could he be dragged deep, and could he take hellacious?
Shit, it look better him having that award with Daenerys than it does with Moloney. To be honest.
Yeah, it's also true. Yeah, because Moloney, like, I mean, obviously, if they didn't, I can hear it's like, oh, like, so Monster, he's having trouble, like, he's not really as he advertised, but Moloney took apart by Monster. Like Moloney put up a fight though, but Moloney just could not handle that dude's power, not one bit.
All the speed, yo.
Or the speed either. Like Moloney, he tried, God bless him, but yeah, no, it was just one of those fights.
Were just too quick, too sharp, too compact. They were offsetting. Like he couldn't get into any type of rhythm. Like
yeah, And then once the first knockdown with the left hook, was just like how Moloney got up from that, I don't know, but he got up from that shit. However, though, the punch that obviously that impressed me more was that final punch, was like a 4-incher right hand. Like, one thing about Monster though, his power punches, they generate a whole lot of power and they're so compact. Like you could really like when they land, like you can see these cats' heads like snap.
He's literally the best puncher in the game.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly the best puncher, pound for pound, and if you just say the top 10 punchers in the sport of boxing, he's number one.
Yeah, like I mean, like because that 4-incher that he landed to knock Moloney out, like you saw like that shit, like
it was crazy because Moloney went right into it too.
Yeah, exactly. And then Moloney, like you could tell, like when that shit landed, like you could tell that shit was over. Moloney was just, like you could see him, like his eyes were spinning in his head, like that dude was just not well.
Leg went from underneath him.
Yeah,
but yeah, that shit was a brutal fucking KO.
Moloney did Inoue did Moloney like Golovkin did Curtis Stevens.
That's a good comparison. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
you could just tell that Moloney just wasn't ready for that power. Like he was visibly shooken, and he had him at that point. It was all over. After the first knockdown.
This is too big a deal for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like people want to front on Monster. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate though. I mean, I guess Monster will probably have to go up at least a couple more divisions to probably get the respect that he should get. And
I mean, they trying to make they said the Casemiro fights next.
Oh yeah, and it should be
that should be a good fight.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like he's beating top guys in their prime. And he's dominant, knocking them out, real one-punch knockout power.
Right, but like I said, most people don't respect it. It's like, yeah, so it's like he doesn't have any competition. That's like, and honestly, like Monster, like honestly, I mean, if Monster unifies bantamweight at 4, like I mean, that's a huge accomplishment because bantamweight, we talked about it, bantamweight hasn't been unified in about probably 50 years.
Lord knows how long.
Or 50 years. It's been like 50 years, like since the 70s. So it's like, if Monster does that, like, I mean, that's a huge feather in the cap, that's a Hall of Fame accomplishment to do it in the 4 belt.
Honestly, I feel like in just that small amount of fights, Monster already has like a Hall of Fame ready, like resume in just that small amount of fights.
Yeah, like all he needs to do is all he needs to do is just take some more zeros. If he goes up, like I mean, and with Monster,
he's getting quality wins, and it's like it's a low count, on his record. Like, people don't understand. Guys like Jason Moloney, guys who come in to win young in their prime, they're not no easy walk in the parks.
Exactly, they're not. So it's just like, Monster is
fucking Anthony Corolla.
like I said, Monster is a special fighter. Like, and most people like I said, I mean, most people just need to like really like appreciate him. Like, see if you get the opportunity to actually watch him live, to really appreciate him. And like I said, because it's very rare that you'll see a prospect like this in the lower divisions like this.
Prospect, this man, damn near Hall of Fame.
What the fuck you talking about, prospect?
No, I'm not talking about Monster.
What is this, 2012?
No, nigga, I'm not talking about prospects as in Monster. I'm talking about any other prospects that are like that have that type.
Oh, okay.
That have that type of potential that Monster eventually showed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, y'all need to appreciate him. Like, you know, like that dude is a problem. Right. Serious.
And that's the thing, the lighter weights always got some fantastic fighters. It's just, you know, hopefully, you know, Monster could bring some more attention.
Yeah, and Top Rank, I mean, that's one thing Top Rank does. I mean, they'll market that dude. Like, I mean, I saw like after the Moloney KO, like Top Rank went to overdrive. Like, yeah, and Bob Aaron's like, so yeah, we'll definitely get the Casemiro fight, and then Monster's like, yeah, after the Casemiro fight, I want the winner of Donaire Ubali. That's in December, you know. So I mean,
just imagine a Donaire rematch. Wow.
Yeah, Yeah, they would definitely. I mean, I would say Top Rank would probably be over the moon if they were able to for that rematch.
Bruh, like these niggas would legit make a cartoon off of that shit. Like,
yeah,
I feel like we would get some anime promo.
Yeah, like I mean, like because the first thing,
promoting that shit.
And the funny thing is too, because I mean, the first one we all said that Donaire probably took enough punishment to put him in retirement. So imagine a second fight. If Donaire somehow manages to regain a belt and that fight becomes a reality again, they have another unification fight. You know, so
man,
yeah, that shit will be murder.
Niggas gonna punch out every TV in the country.
Yeah, no, I'll probably watch that shit and I'm like, damn, yo, I need to go find a midnight gym. I need to go put some work in. Like, you know, these cats are thumping again, so I need to go do that shit too.
Yeah, I'm gonna start having the Rocky IV soundtrack playing in my head.
But yeah, like you know,
it should just make you fucking love boxing and make you want to see it more. And that was one of those fights.
Exactly, you know, and like I said, Monster. Like I said, no, it's a shame though. Like Top Rank though, it just needs to get better in terms of when they actually schedule a Monster fight, so it doesn't get drowned out by, you know, fights that probably have bigger hype. You know, and unfortunately, it was on ESPN Plus, which is another argument altogether. You know,
you think they learned their lesson after the fucking Zapata Barrington fight?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I mean, if there was a fight that should have been shown on ESPN, it's that fight. I mean, like, you know, it shouldn't have not been on the app, you know, on ESPN Plus. But like I said, they're trying to figure. So at least they're putting some effort to figure out what to put and what to not put on there. But that was one of those fights that needed regular ESPN. You know,
Top Rank got the
still inconsistent with all that shit. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, so
inconsistent like Usyk's offense against Chisora.
You know, bad smoke for that, you know. But yeah, the Monster, we're definitely looking forward to, you know, that fight. And then, you know, the last fight we'll talk about, and then the last card was on Friday night, you know, with the main event of Jaime Munguia, you know, getting back in the ring against, you know, second fight at middleweight against Tureano Johnson. You know, and then that fight was just like, I mean, on fight was like, you know, on paper it was a good fight. You know, just to see on decent fight on paper, to see, you know, how it handled that.
They matched them up well because it was an improvement over the Spike Sullivan, which was a good fight for Margie. So this is what we talking about with progressive matchmaking. It wasn't a backwards move, so yeah, I approve.
Yeah, and the fight too. I mean, the first one had me thinking that, you know, upset was going to happen because Tureano came out there and took the fight too. I think Munguia got kind of surprised, you know, and Tureano was landing some heat on him. I was like, oh, wait a minute, what is this?
And he had trouble reacting to the Tureano's overhand right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because instead of trying to jab and get the distance, he was trying to duck it, and
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, if you're a tall guy, big guy, and you're trying to duck a hook, it could catch you on the top of the head or side of the head.
Yeah, and he was thinking, and I was thinking to myself, I was waiting for a temple shot. You know,
That's the type of punch you kind of roll. You roll, or you kind of you weave under it, and he wasn't weaving under it. He was just kind of ducking. And the way Tureano was squared up and on him, like you could tell his legs are shot.
Yeah, very much so.
He would position himself in a way where he would punch and he could fall and balance himself off on Munguia. And Munguia wasn't catching on to that shit until later, and then that's when he started sneaking in the uppercut, and
Yeah, the step back, because it's one of the things. Because in what Munguia was saying in the interview is like, obviously he's trained by Eric Morales, and he was like, Eric Morales loves that particular punch. He loves the step back uppercut. So Tureano Johnson, though, the one thing he didn't do is he didn't make an adjustment to his strategy, because he kept on bulldozing in, and he was eating uppercuts.
Like that strategy only worked for like 2 rounds.
Right, and then after that, and then between that and then and then going southpaw, and then staying on Munguia's left side, and trying to land punches, which I thought was a better strategy than bulldozing in.
Yeah.
He was doing.
I don't think like that was the best he could do. Like the way his feet was, I don't think he could have boxed in that fight or moved around. Like he needed to just be falling forward, throwing punches. Like.
Yeah, I mean, he basically he still managed to try to rough up Munguia, though. He was doing it, but unfortunately, like I said, he never made an adjustment. And then the end came in the 6th, and it was in the 5th round that this happened, when Munguia lands a hellacious right uppercut, that inflicted probably one of the nastiest cuts I've ever seen in my life in the ring. And one thing what the Zone likes to do is when these fighters get these wild ass cuts, or
they fucking zoom in on this shit.
They zoom in on that shit.
These niggas be using like new technology cameras and shit.
And I'd be like, and like I said, I don't get grossed out easily, but sometimes when they do that shit and we see the doctor and they're pulling apart I start getting like the fucking goosebumps,
pulsating and shit.
Yeah, it's like
I can see the blood cells waving and shit.
Yeah, it's like, it's the first time I haven't seen a mouth injury that bad since fucking Diego Corrales and Casamayor. That shit.
The first fight on the undercard, the co-main, the Tony Holyfield.
Yep. It's like, and I thought that shit was back as blows pouring out of that dude's mouth, but this one was worse.
In his jaw, ugh.
Yeah, it was like,
the Zone loves their Mortal Kombat gore.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, dog, stop showing it. You can really see the inside. I've never seen an uppercut give someone a cleft lip before in my life.
Some sadists over there.
Yeah, it's just and I'm surprised in the Zone, they cut the video on that shit too. That shit was all over their Twitter and shit like that within the half hour.
Because they know that's people like that shit. The Zone does a good job of sometimes promoting the wrong shit.
I'm saying,
that super bad KO.
Yeah, that shit was everywhere.
That shit got spread so fucking fast.
Yeah, and then it's just but then just having the doctor, when that shit happened, of course in the video you can actually see the piece of lip that actually flew off from the uppercut, which is gross.
Yeah, shit.
And then the doctor's in the corner. And I was like, they gotta stop this shit. There's no way in hell this. And then you see the doctor pull that shit apart. You see the muscle and shit. I'm like, God damn, I'm glad I wasn't here.
They're like he survived an attack from a face hugger.
You know what I'm saying?
That was worse than, to me, that was fucking worse than, remember the fucking, what was it? What's his name? Steven Smith or whatever his fucking name. One of the Smith brothers. I think it was somebody on HBO where his fucking ear went fucking the ear exploded.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That shit.
That it was giving me those kind of vibes. God damn.
There's some Queasy Uzi vibes, like, ugh.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too is like the doctor was like, okay, well, let that shit continue. I'm like, duh, like, do you want the dude to get his like lip surgically removed in the ring? Like,
Dude's gonna become a character like what, Trap Jaw? Or what's that? He-Man? Like,
yeah,
this old ass nigga. They literally is gonna make dude become Trap Jaw. So it's
like, you know, and in Toronto, he tried though. I mean, because he was like, he knew that shit. Like, he tried to see if he could end it. Like, he fought, but it was good. When that bell rang, I was like, I knew this fight was gonna be a wrap. But at first, I thought it was gonna be like a headbutt. I was like, at first, I thought, okay, maybe it could be. They might roll a headbutt.
Yeah, that fight did look like it had headbutt tendency, like potential, like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but yeah, it was definitely the uppercut that sent that split that lip open.
It had a lot of clean punches though. Like, I was a good like I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Munguia's been low key impressing me at middleweight. Like, he kind of switched it around from being the guy who, you know, going life and death with everybody around the world at 154. Like,
yeah,
you see how big he is. Like, that motherfucker. He could be at super middleweight.
So you think that his 154 performances were on account of him draining himself?
Nah, I don't think that. I think he's boxing better now. That may account for, that might be a partial issue. Because I do think he still was throwing a lot of punches and everything.
I think he carries up his power better at 160 than 154.
I think that's what it is. But the boxing has been better. Like this was some of the best uppercuts he's thrown I've seen in his fights. Yeah. Last time he was killing it with the jab. This time, he couldn't really get the jab off, so he was able to utilize another weapon.
Yeah. Offensively, like, dude is a problem. Like, dude will be a problem. But I think the biggest thing is just he takes
his defense. Yeah, his defense. Too much to do.
It's not. Fuck. I hate to say it. It's not Saucedo bad.
Too soon, bro.
It's too soon,
bro. Too soon, bro.
No, I'm sorry, but just to illustrate. How violent boxing is. It's the hurt business, and when you don't make good habits of having defensive awareness, it could catch up to you. But the sad thing about it is you can never tell when it's going to catch up to you.
I just feel like just a little bit of head movement would do him wonders.
Yeah, a little more head movement, like, definitely, like, and more, like, I guess, practicing distancing. Like, I felt like that was a fight he didn't have to win on the inside like that. Like, I felt like he knows Johnson's trying to fall in on him to get in there. I felt like he could have pushed him off or took a step back and was countering him that way, or established a jab and beat Johnson from a distance, because he has the size and length to do it. But instead, he lets the guy fall on him, but he sets him up and gets him out of there with a different type of punch that he was, landing throughout the fight. So, hey, sometimes you need shit like that. Sometimes you need to test the weapons out there. So,
yeah,
I can't complain too much. I thought, he still knocked him out. Shit, it just, like King P said, like, the defense can improve, more head movement. But one thing I'm sorry, go.
Yeah, because right now they're staring him to either a Canelo fight or even try to revive a UFC fight.
Hell no, not now, not yet.
Man, it's like Canelo got me worked up with the damn super middleweights and Plant and the Smiths and the Saunders. It's like, let Munguia develop.
Yeah, he can't even. I don't even think he can make 160 anymore. So I'm not even counting I'm not even counting Canelo at 160 anymore.
And then Munguia, like, I feel like if Munguia goes up to 168, that nigga end up staying there. Because he's a big dude. I think he'll get too comfortable there. And I felt like it's like 160 is like a good weight for him to stay there. Like I feel like give him one more developmental fight and then get him in there with an Andrade or Jamal Charlo, Golovkin, somebody that at 160, you know, please not Derevyanchenko.
Yeah, no, Derevyanchenko needs a little rest.
Yeah, he's been through the mud as is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but other than that, like they could like I like how they moving him. He give him my one more fight. I don't like this whole don't mention the Canelo shit to me. Like although I think he might be a good fight for dude, but I feel like make that shit a little bigger. Like let it happen down the road. Canelo got so much other work that could be done, and you know he got to win his lawsuit anyway. So fuck it.
Yeah, but a Triple G fight though. Now, if he fights Triple G, obviously he cannot get hit like that at all.
Hell nah.
Yeah, they do.
And if he does, he better be trying to land 5 haymakers to that shit.
Yeah, that shit will be
Catch a Martin Murray treatment.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and yes, we all know this is an old Triple G. Obviously, we don't. I mean, we'll know soon enough what type of Triple G we're probably dealing with going into the future, 2021 and beyond. But yeah, you know, I mean, one thing's for sure, like if they're trying to stand towards a Triple G fight, cannot get hit like that by Triple G at all, no matter how deteriorated he might be. He can't do it.
Either put him in there with Andre or Triple G. Like me, honestly, I would roll the dice with Andre.
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, that should be the fight because because WBO has.
What the fuck is Andre doing anyway? He's not doing anything better, so fuck it.
Yeah, like we'll have plenty of time to talk about Andre and his fighting choices because I mean,
I mean, we could do a whole fucking cast on his fucking career mode, terrible choices, whatever.
Yeah,
and that's what I was like.
He probably got a future poll coming up on his ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but an Andre Munguia fight, I would welcome it because it give, because either way, a win from either one of them, like over the other, will give them some credit. Will give them some real credibility.
Yeah. Now I won't say, this win elevates Andre to Hall of Fame.
Yeah. No, but
hell, fuck no.
That fight though, I mean, it capped off like a pretty, fairly entertaining night of fighting for Friday or whatever. So,
hold on, we gotta mention the damn. We can't finish that off without mentioning how annoying Mannix was on the damn commentary.
The commentary, everyone,
So I feel like this is a reoccurring theme of our natural shit on Chris Mannix, but you know what? Let's do it anyway because it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's Grisham too. Like, they all are like.
Both are so horrible. Like, but the difference was I could feel the frustration and annoyance coming from Sergio Mora. Like, I felt that coming from the TV. Like, I think the one part when he was like, "Man, you're a loser."
Yeah, no, like, it was some bullshit. It was like, I mean, it seemed like they were just trying to make jokes, or they were talking about some other bullshit.
Yeah.
Just like call the fucking fight in the ring.
Call the fucking fight, like, geez, like.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's bad because Morris others get sucked into this shit, and then Morris starts saying some suspect stuff.
And then he'll start going back and forth with Mannix, and then it's like Mannix will say like some low key rude or sarcastic, and Mora just be like you can feel the energy. Like, I know he be wanting to suck his teeth or some shit.
I don't know how he doesn't steal off on Mannix.
Yeah, it's like, cause it seems like Mannix has jokes like about his career. I was like, dog, like, this. I mean,
bruh.
Like,
what memorable? I mean, at least Sergio Mora provided me some memories, and watching boxing and shit. Like, Mannix has no fucking memories, and he in the sport for so long. Like, what the fuck will he be remembered as? The guy who shits on niggas and. Like, he can't even do that well. I mean, I'm gonna remember Larry Merchant over him for that. So, it's like his attitude. Because at least the difference with Larry Merchant, at least you could tell he respect boxing and loves it.
Yeah. Right.
He had high, expectations, but coming from him, I mean, I can't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
But Mannix is like, he's like that little annoying cousin or nephew that he asks you a question every 3 seconds. Instead of digesting the answer you give him, he's on to the next question. And it's like why do fish swim? Because fish need water. Why they need water? Like, he's one of them little niggas.
Yeah, it's stupid that it's like I just really hope, and like the zone has not had the best of luck with the commentary. Like, I mean, obviously you know before when you start.
I don't think they looking hard enough, tell you the truth.
Yeah, like first they had Sugar Ray Leonard on there, but Sugar Ray Leonard would come on there either not knowing what he's talking about, not prepared, or he'd wing it on some some nonsense. You know, with
he just sound out of place as fuck. Like the uncle that showed up to the wrong cookout.
Yeah.
So he's still trying to play it off and be cool with everybody there, and it's like niggas is just like, I mean, okay. I mean, he seemed like a cool guy. He could stay. Like,
yeah. But then
it's like somehow he makes a habit of doing it.
Yeah. You know, it's like, and then more when he's on point, he is a decent. You can listen to him, but he's like, you keep pairing him with these non-boxing ass motherfuckers. You get nonsense, like, you know.
Yeah, like you're bringing him down. Like Mora has good insight. Like actually, like he's one of the better like non-biased commentary. You know, like he really doesn't speak with an agenda or nothing. Like I fucks with his commentary, but the thing is, it's like, you keep putting them around garbage.
Yeah, and then sometimes he just gets caught up in the fuckery, and then
hold on, yo, King P off, or he ain't come back on yet.
Oh, he's back on now. Okay, yeah. So it's just like, yeah, he just gets too caught up with the damn fuckery, and then that's what the commentary just starts suffering, and it's just annoying that when you hear that, you know.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, it's like they're like the worst 3-man team in boxing for commentary, and it's like it shouldn't be that way, but one of them is damn good. So
right. So yeah, the zone, and you know, the zone like kind of messed up by not getting into the topic, because now he's on the Impact Network doing commentary for their card. You know, so it's just like, you know, it's just like, yeah, you got to look a little harder. You know,
man, there's too many fighters out there. There's too many personalities. Like, y'all gotta look harder. Honestly, they could make a reality show about and have like make a contest about it. Like have somebody like say, look, call an old fight. Mm-hmm. Give me 3 rounds or some shit, and I don't know. It's something they gotta work out something, because they're ruining fucking boxing nights with these niggas. Like,
yeah, no, like I'm tired of my. I'm tired of the commentary. Like the commentary has not improved. Like what? Like, I mean, even like the Zone's fight quality has, like, for the time it launched. Obviously, they aired some better fights, some classic fights. But outside of the World Boxing Super Series, the commentary for most of the fights of the air are horrible to listen to.
Yeah, you don't want to. There's no quotables. You don't want to go back. Remember, it's like it's cringeworthy. Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness, like it's like more as like a part of a 3-on-3 basketball pickup game, and it's like he has to do the carrying for 2 sorry ass members, like teammates, like. Mm-hmm. And if you ever been in that situation, it's one of the worst feelings. So, like, you be legit hear his frustration and his annoyance with Mannix. Like, oh my goodness, honestly, it reminds me of just one time I had the fucking I had 2 niggas on my team, like I know they was good, but they just had garbage ass hot and cold performances, and they both had them on the same day with me. Jeez. I do a no look pass to one of these niggas, but I did it to where the other guy is like behind them, so I'm thinking one of them's gonna get it. Would you believe the ball went through one nigga hand, like he touched it, and then it went through his hand, and it went to the other nigga hands, then hit the gate? Bruh, I'm like, oh my god, how the ball touched both y'all niggas hands? Like none of y'all catch that shit? Like, come, like that's the frustration I get from Sergio Mora. Like the Snoop in the courtroom with his palm in his with his head in his palm type shit. Like,
Word.
but yeah, like enough of them niggas. Like, ugh.
Yeah, you know. So,
Yeah, I'm getting a headache listening to this shit.
It's I mean, it's a nightmare. There's like the zone. Like, I mean,
Yeah, we reliving the headache they gave me on Friday.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that hopefully remaining the zone cards or whatever, that shit gets tempered, or that shit they rein that shit in though, because like, you know, I
find somebody, please.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
for goodness.
You know, but yeah, you know, but overall it was a good fight weekend. You know, Friday, Saturday, you know, it was entertaining. There was a lot of entertainment. You know, and it was good for boxing. You know, so there's nothing we can't complain that much.
Yeah.